Good morning, good evening, and everything in between. How are we all today? Welcome, everyone. Have we been staying safe and making good choices? I hope we have all been looking after each other and being good on this fine Wednesday, the Wednesday of Women Love Women. Hello, everyone. So we're here. We're back after two weeks. I think it was 2 weeks. Wait, let me check. Last time I streamed, it was on the 10th. Yeah. After 2 weeks, we're back to Highway Blossoms, and I'm very excited to be able to get into it today. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. I'm very also nervous about what's going to happen because, like, they were getting a little bit, 12's hair last time. So I'm like, what's happening, you two? What are we doing? But also, I am going to say thank you so much for the check-in. Neki, Justa, Weave, and Mori. Thank you. Yeah. It's been a few days since last stream. It's been very, very busy. This will probably be a small stream today. I will give you guys full warnings. And I am sorry that streams are a little bit short for the next... They're gonna be smaller streams for the next week or so. Because, Yippee! But hopefully things will, after big things next week, things will go back to normal. You'll go back to having to deal with me 4 to 5 days a week. Yippee! That means more rest for you, right? I don't know how to tell you this, but the reason there's less streams is because there's too much back-end work. We're cooking so hard, so unfortunately it's like, do I work on these projects or do I stream? And unfortunately, projects have to win out sometimes, so that's when the projects went out, and I'm like, stares longingly at the stream button, like, when will it be my turn to return? But yeah, crazy things are happening. It's almost 1 week. It'll be 1 week tomorrow. Oh my god. Yeah, actually it'll be 1 week tomorrow until Mari Day. And then that's 9 days until Mari Day event TM. We're gonna have Mari Day and Mari Day event because Mari Day has its own drops. But most of the stuff will be where is my brain going? Most of my things will be on the Saturday, not the Thursday, just because I know that the Saturday is a lot easier for a lot more people to be able to attend than the Thursday because work, school, commitments, and because I want to be silly, so we gotta do crazy things, you know what I'm saying? Guys, remember, make your submissions for the events. Exactly. Make sure you are submitting your entries. I posted 2 forms. The mods are working hard to get all of that sorted. I'm so excited for Olive Day tomorrow. Yippee! And yeah. So I am sorry today will be pretty short of a stream, but we're gonna do the best that we can with the circumstances we were given, and before we know it, we'll be back to me screaming for like 5 or so hours all the time. Also, I will say it's very, very funny because not yesterday, or the day before, time is an illusion. Recently, someone on Twitter posted like, I want to see the VTubers with the weird animals, and I put, hi, I'm a numbat. I think they're weird little guys. Hit tweet TM. I made new friends. Yippee! I saw that. Yeah, it was funny as hell. I did not expect them to be like, oh my god, and then hit the follow button, but I was like, you know what, we're friends now. Let's go. We stay winning. Get your friends to submit stuff to more mental illness. Exactly. If you get your friends to submit, that's more entries for me to be able to see. That was yesterday, I think, or the other day. See, we're both losing it. It was either yesterday or the day before, but time is a weird soup, and I have barely slept in the last 3 weeks. Awesome! Thank you for the check-in! Welcome! We have been living off of, like, a couple of hours every night. Yippee! More people to hear Neopets talk. Oh my god, the Neopets TTF, like, oh my god, the Neopets fucking... I'm losing my mind. They're doing the D&D. They're doing well, so there's technically a tabletop. The Neopets tabletop. Yeah, I'm so excited. It's gonna be so good. It's my favorite web event as well. They're doing the Fall of Fairyland as the plot, so I'm really excited because that means it's gonna be my favorite web event that I got to experience as it happened online. But now I get to make a character and be in there. I still have to make the pledge. Thank you for reminding me about that, but I'm so excited. And then I picked up Cyber Sleuth today because that was $12 AUD, and I was like, that's normally like $60, so I will take that. Thank you. So now I have Cyber Sleuth after wanting it for a very, very long time. Yippee! I will also say, it is currently storming where I live. It is raining as we speak. If you're hearing a lot of rain noise, let me know. If I suddenly disappear, we know why. Yippee! Okay, let me jump into the game. Oh, the music changed. Alrighty. I finish about half of my meal before the dismay sets in. There's no way I can possibly finish this. Most people I know couldn't eat this much food in one sitting. Every bite is a struggle. Marina's faring similarly. Her plate of eggs is nearly untouched just because there's so much pancake to work through. Oh, the background music didn't turn off. There we go. And I can tell them pancake fatigue. That feeling when you get halfway through them and then realize you're sick of pancake. Wait, we've been through this. Did we not save after... Guys. We forgot to save. Womp womp indeed. Well, you know what? We know all of this.
I think I'm done.
Yeah, you and me both.
We've been all this, we've been this.
I don't think I'll ever want pancakes again.
Yippee!
Put some boxes together.
I was thinking, like, it's so, like, odd for me to have, like, done it at an odd time like that. There we go. To resist her last kyat, may she rest in skibidi. Are you okay? Do I need to give you the recording again, Neki? Do I need to pull out the recording? I'll send it to you again. I'll make it happen. Once we're ready to go, I take us over to the edge of the parking lot. As expected, the constant stream of cars makes it impossible for us to get out. I watch impatiently for an opening in traffic, but can't see one for miles. The what? I recorded myself singing the funny cursed 17 edit. So basically there's like it's like 17 from the Heathers, but it's Can We Be Skibbity? I recorded myself singing all of that, and then I sent it to Neki with no warning. I was like, can I send you something? And Neki's like, sure, and then I sent that.
Oh, come on!
I think I sent it to Mori too, and Mori was like, I don't even understand most of these words. I pressed my forehead to the steering wheel. We've been sitting here for minutes now.
Is there another exit we could use? Onto a different street?
Game a little lurk, and I get a mod's confirmation on that before I turn it up. Game lurk, okay, perfect. How about that? Is that better now? That's showing pretty high for me. I look and check the mirrors, but don't see anything. The edges of the diner's property are surrounded by a cream-colored fence.
Nope.
You can also just fix this by doing this. There you go. Marina begins to sigh, but that quickly turns into a sound of surprise.
Amber, look!
She points past my face and out the window. An older lady in a little hatchback sedan has stopped to let us out. There you go. If that's not good, then I don't know what to tell y'all. The two of us wave at her and we finally lumber onto the road itself.
Yay! I'm glad somebody was nice at least.
Yeah, still a long way to go, though.
The long line of cars extends as far as I can see before it finally goes out of sight around a bend in the road.
Why do you think it's so much busier here than the other places we've been?
Arches is one of the most popular national parks. Like, when you think of parks in the US, you think of Arches and the Grand Canyon and Yosemite.
What
And
about
that kind of thing.
Yosemite mention!
So I think a lot of people will be at those big spots.
Miss her.
Think it'll be like Shiprock again?
What, with the megaphone and law enforcement?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Probably not. These parks are a lot bigger and more spread out. Way harder to have people watching. The only option would to be straight up close.
And then you have horrible people who sneak in and out of bounds anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Who would ever do that?
Nobody we know, that's for sure.
It's okay. Once we're filthy rich, we can make a donation to the canyon or something.
Let's just buy the canyon and pay to have everything reconstructed.
Insane.
Perfect.
It takes a while, but we finally make it past all of the stoplights. After that, it's still slow going, but at least it's steady. Maybe 15 minutes past crawling through town before things start to pick up. Still, a couple miles away, I can finally see the exit for the park itself. Some people continue past, staying on the highway, but most are in line for Archer. At least there's a whole lane for people like us. Traffic is congested like my nose in winter, but the end is in sight.
May as well get comfy. We're gonna be here a while.
Taking my advice, Marina leans back and props her feet up on the dash. Her dress bunches up by her knees, leaving most of her legs exposed. What are we? Like in the Victorian era? Come on, guys. I sneak a few guilty glances from the corner of my eye. If I didn't know better, I'd think that all the skin she shows was intentional. But it's Marina, which means she's not even conscious about this stuff. Or me, for that matter. I wonder if she knows that I'm into her. To distract myself, I grabbed the box of tapes. I kept the music off earlier so that Marina could sleep.
Wanna pick this time?
Sure.
Setting it in her lap, she begins to rummage through the bin. Pretty sure that she knows all of the music I have by now. We've listened to every tape at least once, and I have an okay feel for what she likes and what she doesn't. Sometimes she taps her fingers to the beat or hums along when she likes what we're listening to. If she doesn't, she flat out ignores. The one she settles on is an album of instrumental folk songs, very stereotypical Western sounding. A little high energy for just sitting still in traffic, but that's alright, it's better than nothing. We just listen to the music, which I've cranked. Wait, the album is nearly half over by the time we finally make it through the park gate. Beyond them, traffic mercifully lets up. Not because there are fewer cars, there are more cars than rocks to be seen. But a lot of those are pulled off on the shoulder or cramped into parking lot. Nearly every inch of pavement that doesn't have a car on it has a person instead. Also, there are different trails and forks in the road, so not everyone is going in the same direction now. Being able to drive without having to tap the brakes every couple of seconds is a relief. A pickup truck towing a trailer pulls off the shoulder ahead and back onto the road, so I take his spot. Putting it in park, I take a swig of Stone Cold coffee.
Wanna grab the pamphlets?
We snagged a couple of brochures back at the diner. They don't have a whole lot of info, but they're a starting point. Marina retrieves them and spreads them out on the table like puzzle pieces. Alongside them is a journal. Its spine has lost all strength and the pages just flop around.
So, the journal says that it's buried between two things.
Right, but something out of the way.
Peering out the windshield and to the expanses beyond, there's a lot that could be considered out of the way.
It'd have to be something memorable. Or else he'd come back and have no idea where to go.
And anything memorable is probably gonna be something popular, right?
Exactly, yeah.
She flips through some of the pamphlets. They all have the same information on the same landmarks, just with slightly different pictures.
Wait,
Is about to toss one of them, but it catches my eye.
hand me that.
Marina passes over the brochure and I turn to one of the inner pages. It has only one picture and a longer paragraph of text. I read aloud.
One of the most famous landmarks in all of the park, Double Arch is a fan favorite. Recognizable for its 2 elegant curves. Double Arch can be accessed via a short hike and is open to exploration.
I hold up the flyer so she can see the picture. It's of 2 huge arches of stone connected at one side but otherwise perpendicular from each other. He snatches it out of my hands for a closer look, nearly cutting my fingers.
Oh my god, you think it's between the 2 of these?
That makes sense, right? You definitely remember how it looks, and it's kind of out of the way.
The papers whiz past my face as Marina hurls them backwards and she points forward.
Choo-choo, full steam ahead!
I throw the RV back into drive and pull out onto the road again. There are signs everywhere for Double Arch, so we don't need the map that we got at the gate. We pass signs for other landmarks too, some with pretty weird names. There's the Parade of Elephants, for one thing, which is in the same direction as Am Rock. There's even a phallic-sounding rock simply called the Organ. Insane! All of those are down exits we don't take. Instead, we soon end up in the back of yet another traffic jam. Marina stares out the window as we creep along. Where we are right now is nearly indistinguishable from the highways we've spent so much time on. There are a few actual arches around, but none distinct enough to get any real attention. Inch by inch, we advance down the road until we finally come to the parking lot for Double Arch. Only problem is, it's totally full. Not just busy, but packed. Every parking spot is taken, with a few cars jammed into empty space that's clearly not meant for that. Like lice, people swarm up and down the arch itself, visible even from the road. At least this time it isn't off limit.
Looks like everyone else had the same idea.
Don't sound so glum. We can still go take a look.
If we can ever find somewhere to park.
Yeah, that is a pretty big if.
The entire caravan passes by the parking lot. There's at least a dozen cars behind me too. Maybe a half mile up the road we come across another lot.
Up for a bit of walking?
Yeah!
Quickly take one of the remaining spaces. There are a few openings. Looks like most people weren't as willing to walk as Marina is. Some of the cars behind us pull in too. We opt to leave the metal detector and other equipment in the RV for now. If we see anything that looks promising, we can come back and grab it. The walk back up to Double Arch doesn't take long, and it's nice to be outdoors again. We have to stick to the very edge of the road to avoid the stream of cars flowing towards us. Seems there was more than a dozen behind us after all. It is very big rock. There's a short hike from the Double Arch parking lot to the arch itself. It's an easy one and we don't even break a sweat. Up close, it's obvious that there aren't many people here just to see the sights. Most everyone is carrying a shovel or other tool. There's a pair of park rangers watching, but they don't seem to be intervening at all. They just slouch against a wooden fence, looking defeated.
Can you imagine how big of celebrities we'd be if anyone here knew we found this shipwrecked treasure?
I whisper as quietly as I can.
Right? I was thinking about that earlier. I kinda wanted to show off, but that's probably not a good idea.
Absolutely not.
Like anyone would believe us anyway. But you don't want to have your face all over the New York Times as one of the girls who found the treasure?
Being in the local newspaper is on my bucket list.
Not gonna lie, I've done that, Marina. It's not worth it. Dream big, Marina.
And my friends from school would totally have a heart attack when they found out. But don't they always say to keep it a secret if you win the lottery?
Correct. Never tell anyone if you win the lottery.
Yeah. Otherwise, people will never leave you alone. You'll get all sorts of messages from people you used to know or long-lost relatives.
See, not only that, but there have been cases in history where people have won the lottery and they've been murdered for the money. So, like, never tell anyone you won the lottery, and always get your accountant to be non-disclosing about the fact that they work with someone who has won a lottery, because it's too risky otherwise.
I have enough not lost relatives to deal with.
Took on the money to charity. Making large donations to charity is really, really good after you win the lottery, because it depends on which country you live in. So Australia is tax-free, but you can still do a lot with large donations because it is like you can claim charity like donations on tax. They're very beneficial, especially when you're going to go to a very high tax bracket with a lottery win. That's one of the big things that I've always heard, at least. I'm not a financial person. Don't listen to me. This is not financial advice. This is just stuff that I have learnt on the internet. Never telling anyone I won the lottery, but there will be signs. Nah, literally. I will not tell a single soul if I ever won the lottery. But I would suddenly have all the merch I've ever wanted. My PC would be exactly what I wanted. I would have the breed of dog that I want that is very, very expensive.
Plus, I don't want to get kidnapped and held for ransom or something like that.
See? Exactly. I'd also have, like, the ferret plushie. That's how you know. If I ever get a lot of money, it's you will know because of the ferret plushie.
What about you?
No way. I'm just gonna quietly retreat into one of my 3 mansions when all this is over.
See, them talking about this, though, it feels like the treasure is fake.
Oh, you're only gonna buy 3?
Yeah, gotta save the rest for my 14 new motorhomes after all.
Oh my god, how rich do y'all think you're gonna be? Damn. She giggles.
Do I get to drive one of them?
Absolutely not. You should not be allowed to drive.
Why not?
Okay.
But you could buy your own, you know.
No, Amber, you're right.
No way! I'll just come bother you if I need one.
We've gotten as close to the arches as we can. The mob of sweaty people is too thick for us to push our way through. There are dozens of people sweeping over the dusty ground with metal detectors. Hanging back around the edge, Marina's smile fades away quickly.
Yeah, this is a bit of a mess.
People jostle and push each other out of the way. Hard to believe anyone is actually prospecting so much as they are just trying not to lose their spot.
Maybe we should come back later?
I don't know if it'll be any better later, but maybe.
I guess. Though if the treasure is here, I feel like someone would have found it by now.
Just like back at Canyon de Shelley.
You know, this must have been going on for a few days now.
Yeah.
All the enthusiasm she had just a minute ago when we were joking around has evaporated in the desert sun. A rock skips past my foot as she kicks at the dirt. I poke her and she yelps in surprise.
Hey now, I'm not saying we give up. I'm just saying we regroup and strategize. We can go see the rest of the park in the meantime. Didn't you say you've wanted to see this place for a while?
Yeah, I guess.
Are you trying to take her on a date? It's obvious that she's still bummed, but there's nothing I can do about that. Once we're back in the motorhome, we leave the busy main road ASAP and spend a while seeing the sights from our air-conditioned comfort. Marina's mood improves steadily throughout the day, counteracted only by our growing hunger. We pull back into Mob with both ravenous.
Wanna just heat up our leftovers?
You may fascinate a gay with rocks. Actually correct. So true. You can fascinate a gay with rocks. If someone hands me a rock, I am going to be absolutely fixated.
Guessing that's a no.
I have a small collection of geodes, and let me tell you, I am very fascinated. I used to stare at them for ages when I first got them.
I'm not ready for pancakes again yet. I need a day or maybe a week.
Oh, honey.
Let me know if you see somewhere you want me to stop.
Now that it's approaching evening, there aren't any more massive traffic jams going through Moab. We can cruise through at a steady pace, just like when we first got into Arches. Till I slam on the brakes.
You're kidding me.
Marina had been slouching, but bolts upright at the sudden stop.
What happened?
Just a few feet ahead, in the parking lot of the diner we ate at this morning, is Mariah's motorhome.
Look at that. It's them.
Yippee! I point and Marina leans forward. When she recognizes their RV, she grins.
Should we go see them?
Marina?
What? No way! That's extra reason to avoid that place.
But Amber, maybe we could see about teaming up for the treasure here or something.
That'd never happen. Mariah would rather lose every time than have our help. Besides, it's not like...
Please.
Already giving up in my head, I give Marina one last desperate look.
Seriously?
Yeah, even if we don't team up, it'd be nice to see them again.
Not sure if nice is the word I'd use.
Despite my muttering, I flick on my blinker and change, pulling into the parking lot yet again. Like this morning, it seems pretty busy. I have to park next to Mariah's RV because it's the only open spot large enough. Marina skips out and towards the entrance while I trudge behind her. It doesn't take long to find the trio. Even amongst all the eccentric people that the hunt has drawn, their questionable fashion sense stands out. They have a large table near the back, bigger than the one Marina and I ate at this morning. Joseph and Tess share a bench, while Mariah is spread across the opposite side. Probably supposed to look sultry, but it comes across more like the bench is devouring her. When she sees them, Marina scurries to the back, hand raised in greeting. I bring up the rear, still slow.
Hey, guys!
Tess and Joseph both wave, the latter smiling when he sees us. Mariah looks surprised for a second, but then scowls and turns towards the wall. The feeling is mutual.
Hey, imagine running into you two here. Just get into town?
Nope, we've been here all day. We actually ate breakfast at this place this morning.
Yeah, you're always a couple steps behind us, I guess.
My god, Amber, shut up. Mariah's glare is stonier than Double Arch itself. Of course, she keeps looking at the wall instead of us. Joseph laughs, though.
Here, let's break bread.
He and Tess scoot down the booth, making some room, which Marina promptly fills. I'm left next to the smoldering fury that is Mariah. She moves her leg just a little, but enough for me to sit down.
Thanks. Sorry to barge in on you guys like this.
It's no problem. More the merrier.
I hope you don't expect us to cover your bill.
Groaning, Joe puts his hands over Tess's ear.
Would you at least try not to be a pain in the ass between the hours of 5 p.m. and 6 in the morning? It would make my life a lot easier.
He uncovers Tess's ears and gives us a blank look.
She's right, though. There's no way we can afford that.
We had to dine and dash for breakfast.
Oh my god!
So what about you? How long have you been here?
We got in around lunchtime. Spent forever and a half stuck in traffic, though.
He sounds worn out. I wonder if Mariah ever lets him drive. Or makes him.
Us too. We were gonna look around Double Arch, but it was too busy.
Yeah, we took one look at it and just kept driving. Didn't even want to try it.
Sis said anyone who bothered to get out was a You weren't supposed to hear that!
Wait. No, let her say it. Let her say it.
I told you, this girl hears everything. Anyway, we were thinking about heading back this evening. See if it maybe cleared out some.
We were gonna do that too. I was telling Amber that we should see if maybe you guys wanted to team up and we could look together.
Hell no!
The two of us look at each other. Seems all that we ever agree on is not sticking together.
No offense to you, Joe. Just didn't want to you know.
I trail off trying to think of an excuse that didn't deal with Mariah, which is the truth. But Joseph just laughs and waves it off.
Nah, I get what you mean. Don't think Mariah would be too fond of splitting the goods either.
Marina frowns, but perks back up after just a second. Soon a waitress comes to take our order. Marina and I are careful to order meals on the smaller side, just sandwiches with fries. On the other hand, Mariah's order comes with a bunch of requirements as to what can and can't be on. By the time she's made so many substitutions and extras, it hardly resembles the item described in the menu.
So, I can tell you ladies that it's not at the Parade of Elephants, and Delicate Arch was a no-go too. Think we might try Skyline next.
Good luck, I guess. I wonder how many of those the miner would have known about, though. Pretty sure this park wasn't founded till after the gold rush.
Bro's allergic to everything. Bro is going through it with the substitutions. Joseph shrugs.
Amber knows a lot about these places. She's like an encyclopedia.
I can feel my face flush like always when she races me.
Not really. I just know bits and pieces.
Still, something to be proud of. Aren't too many girls your age who care about anything that happened more than 5 years ago.
This is such a derail, but hear me out. Put the fucking cat ears on Amber, and this is a golden retriever right here. That is their entire dynamic. The only thing that is missing is the fact that normally that kind of dynamic is black cat golden retriever, and she's not like black hair. She's a brunette. But that is almost the black cat golden retriever dynamic. They're getting like a little bit like, oh my god, when they're complimenting, like the constant golden retriever energy that is coming from this. Like this is just golden retriever. This is like black cat, but not quite black cat. So put the cat ears on this one. Angry brown tabby, so true. Like, this is the moody tabby, like, kind of vibes. Like, we need the cat ears on this one. This one, she's something. She's not giving cat or dog. I'm like... Cheetah? No, she's not giving anything feline. At most, I would say she's giving... I would say if she was giving any kind of, like, if she was giving cat or dog energy, she would be giving, like, dog energy, but the very high prey drive dog energy. Like, I would call her a red healer. She would have red healer energy. Because red healers are notoriously hard to train. Have very, like, stance up kind of, like, behaviors. Very big on, like, you know, if we were going cat or dog, she would be a red healer kind of vibe. But even then, like, that's if we were going with the cat-dog dynamic. And don't get me wrong, red healers, brilliant breed of dog. But they are very temperamental if they are not trained correctly. And I feel like that's the correct vibe for her, you know what I mean? And if I see one person make a fucking Bluey joke, I swear to fucking God.
It's really nothing special. I just spent a lot of time on the road when I was younger.
That's so.
I appreciate his leaving it as an open-ended question rather than prying. Marina looks at me, eyes wide, probably to see if I'm about to cry or something. I wasn't even thinking of that. You brought that on yourself. Hear me out. I said red healer, and that's like, I had to be so careful because I was like, I swear to God, if I get one fucking Bluey comment, I try to be nonchalant.
Yeah, until I was in middle school. My grandpa used to drive me all over the country.
Yippee!
Sounds like a fun time.
It was.
Actually, she's giving bull shark energy. She's bull shark energy. I think that's the vibes. Got Bluey as a blue healer. How do you forget that? What did you think Bluey was? Also, have you seen the amount of people that have been buying blue healers and red healers now because of Bluey? It's a little bit funny for me because, like, you see them buy the dogs and they're like, oh my god, what is this? And all the Australians are like, they're our cattle dogs. We use them for cattle. You put one in an apartment. Yippee! I low-key feel bad for both dog and family. Now, literally, I'm like, you have gotten one of the most uncoordinated, clumsy dog breeds that are very mouthy on corrections and are not the best in multiple dog situations. That need to, like, those dogs can run so fast. I love them. I have been around so many when I was growing up because we would often go to a relative's farm and they had a couple of working dogs. And then whenever we were going on school excursions to the farms, they had working dogs. So I grew up seeing a lot of border collies, blue healers, red healers, the crosses. Oh my god, they're so good. Fictional dog breed? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Their last name is Healer, so for me, it's a very clear like thing, especially since all of the other dogs are very much so based off of actual breeds as well. They live near Chow Chows. It's very exciting. I love Chow Chows. Chow Chows are funny little lads. And to stop talking dogs. Yes, there's no point in hiding it. Plus, Joseph has this kind of disarming air to him. Like he exudes calmness.
Passed away a little while ago. Still a little.
I tap my throat, hoping that gets my point across. It does. Joseph nods.
I'm sorry for your loss. I know how hard that can be.
Thanks.
Oh, Amber. Marina's eyes flick between me and Joseph. She must be pretty worried, so I force a smile even though I can feel that growing glumness. It shows up anytime I talk about Gramps.
Meeting this dork has helped a lot, though.
Oh my god, gay person. Jerk my chin towards Marina, who looks shocked, as if I could have been talking about anyone else.
It's been a while moping around before that.
Family is good.
Oh, Tess, sweetie, Tess. Oh, family is good. I blink. It's so easy to forget she's there.
Yeah, definitely.
I hadn't really thought of it before, but Tess seems to be in a similar situation I was, growing up on the go and all. I'm curious how it happened, but I won't ask. Not my place. A far-off look seeps onto Joe's face. He stares out the window, like he's gazing at something 100 yards away. Mariah glances up at him, for a split second if that. She even looks a little concerned. But then it's right back to business as usual. She leers over at me and shoves herself back into the conversation.
So what are you going to do?
Huh?
When all this is over?
She gestures around.
Dinner?
No, dumbass! I meant the treasure hunt! Forget it. I don't actually care.
Aw, no you did.
Don't know yet. Mare and I have been kind of talking about that.
She's gonna buy 3 mansions.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that. I'll have plenty of time to figure stuff out in my mansions.
3 of us chuckle, but then the conversation trails off. Tess and Marina are working on coloring Tess's menu. From what I can see, it has different characters than the one this morning. They look like they make a good team. Each of them work on separate pictures, but switch from time to time. So Marina will color the hair on one character, then Tess colors the clothes. Despite not talking at all, they don't ever get in each other's way. Joseph also observes from above, smiling slyly. He's usually the one to play with Tess, so it must be nice for her to have some company. On the other hand, like a jug of milk, Mariah's mood seems to be getting more and more sour. I don't even know what she's mad about this time. Maybe something happened before we showed up, or maybe it's because we showed up. Either way, she ought to have memorized every single detail of the wall she's been staring at this entire time. She doesn't look up until our food arrives a little bit later. a good thing we have lunch. The food looks so good. Because there's still hardly any room left once all the plates are set down. Why does that look so good though? I can't eat half of this. I'm just saying, I think that will kill me. I want that steak too. My god, guys, pick your meals. Hee hee. So Neki is shotgun the steak. I'll take this. Then don't dip it, dumbass. Nah, you gotta go for the full experience. My sandwich is so big it takes 2 hands to hold. And I have enough rice to sustain Ireland for the winter. Insane comment. When Marina picks up her sandwich, all the ingredients pour out the back. She quickly gives up trying to reconstruct it and just uses a knife and fork instead. Watching the other 3 eat is amusing too. Joseph chooses slow, measured bites, whereas Mariah attacks her meal like it owes her money. Across from her, Tess is cutting up chicken tenders with surgical precision. Marina catches me staring and smiles at me covertly. Seems she noticed too. What full experience? Death? Exactly, death, and you know, when the chef makes you a meal, you've got to eat, you gotta try all of it, you know what I mean? You gotta experience their vision on the plate. If they've given you something, there is a reason. You got to experience it all. Raya's the first to finish eating. I'm just a couple of bites behind. That's embarrassing. She wipes her face with a napkin, then finally looks at me.
Where are you two staying?
Mario will throw a plate at you. Oh my god, you throw a plate at me? That's crazy. I think Chef is trying to kill you. Probably. I mean, how many times did we see them try and kill me when I was in the US? Yippee! Could be an innocent question, or it could be a trap.
Around. We'll find a parking lot somewhere.
You thieves are gonna have a late start then.
I guess. Don't tell me you planned ahead and got a campsite.
Don't be stupid. Of course not. Like, that's not what I meant.
The Skullfish she backtracks to keep from insulting herself. We're going to be on stream, just can't chat as I'll be doing something. Okay! Stay safe, Mori!
What I mean is, there's no way they're gonna bother checking every single permit. There's too much going on right now. Just pick a nice spot out of the way, don't make trouble, and it'll be fine.
I don't think that's how that works. Joe flatly stares at Mariah.
Easier said than done.
Good luck with that. I don't want to take the risk.
On foot, if you're trespassing and get caught, most of the time he'll just get thrown out. But I don't want our license plate getting written down or something if we were to do what she suggests. Mariah shrugs.
Suit yourself. Don't say I didn't never try to help you.
Didn't never try to help you.
Didn't ever.
Thank you, Tess.
You ever camp here before, Amber? Sounded like you know the place.
Long time ago. I don't remember a whole lot. Just good at remembering names, I guess.
Yippee!
Useful skill to have.
Yeah. Used to be before we'd go anywhere. Gramps and I would research the place we were going. History and stuff like that.
You sure learned a lot of useful stuff from him, huh?
Yep. Always wanted to make him proud. He used to say I was a real chip off the...
My words catch in my throat. Not because I'm emotional, but because I just realized something. Remembered it, rather. Mariah and Joe know it too. Mine and Mariah's eyes lock, and she bolts up at my words. The other two look confused.
We're leaving!
Mariah sprints for the door without paying, and I nearly yank Marina's arm out of its socket as we run to the exit. Other diners turn to watch us, but I barely notice them.
Amber, what the heck?
Her voice is shaky from being jolted
I
around.
know where the treasure is.
I yell behind me as I turn to look and see the trio exit the restaurant close behind us. Joe's carrying Tess on his back.
I know where it is.
Hey, your fucking bill! Say it again to assure myself. We reach the motorhome seconds after Mariah and her crew reach theirs. I practically hurl Marina up and into her spot before I leap into my own. Not even bothering to buckle up, I hurry towards the road. Less than a minute and we're already falling behind. I watch Mariah's tail lights as she speeds up on the road, horn blaring to scare away the cars unfortunate enough to be in her lane. Going as fast as I dare to, worried about cops that could be lurking around one of the bends in the road. I can't let her out of my sights. There's no room to pass yet, but I have to watch for an opportunity. With one hand, Marina clutches the headrest bar of her seat, and she leans over and past my face, nearly causing me to swerve from shock.
What are you...
Grabs my seatbelt and buckles me in, then she does the same for herself.
Okay, now that we're at least not gonna die if you hit something, can you tell me what exactly is happening?
She sounds a little frantic and a little curious.
Okay, so do you remember Balanced Rock?
Wasn't one of the places that we visited earlier today, but it's one of the spots that's on posters and in lots of the ads.
I think so, or at least hearing about it.
There used to be another really famous rock right next to it. Smaller, but a similar shape and everything. They called it Chip Off the Old Block.
What do you mean, used to be?
I was getting to that. A long time ago, like 50 years or something, it fell. Now you can't even tell it apart from the rest of the rocks on the ground.
50 years. So that was...
Her eyes go wide in understanding. A fact which I look away from Mariah's rear to take in.
So it was still standing when the miner came through.
Yeah, exactly. I'll bet you anything he hid the treasure between Balanced Rock and what used to be Chip.
Look over again to smile at her, only to see genuine admiration and awe in her face. Her eyes are wide and her mouth slightly open. Like always, I can't look at her for too long, or it starts to make me uncomfortable. Nothing I've said or done is that impressive. Even Mariah knew about Chip. But instead of singing my praises again, she just faces ahead with a little smile. Then her face crumbles up.
Amber!
I see it.
A semi has begun pulling out into the road ahead of us. There's no passing lane, so I can't get around him that way. I tap the brakes since I'll have to stop and wait for him to get onto the highway. Ahead, I can still see Mariah, but just barely. Few of the cars between us have exited, but her lead has grown. So I make a quick, reckless decision.
Hold on to something.
Amber!
What are you?
I don't wait for her to finish her question, since she grabs onto her seat as she asks it. To answer, I yank the wheel to the left and into the other lane, even though it's a no-pass zone. Headlights far ahead are speeding towards us, maybe a quarter mile away. Getting closer, a concrete barrier prevents me from going any further to the left. I smash the gas pedal to the floor, putting all my weight on it. Marina begins to moan with dread at the oncoming car. It's a wordless sound, or maybe the start of my name. My heart is in my throat, and I can feel beads of sweat on my forehead. One slides down into my eye, but I can't wipe it away. We're even with the semi now, who seems to be stopping. He probably noticed me and is waiting for me to complete my illegal pass. The car ahead of us is close enough that I can see it in our headlight beam. The maroon SUV, they're braking as they approach. I'm still accelerating, going so fast that I couldn't stop in time even if I wanted to. Like a missile, we shoot forward. I'm at least double the speed limit right now. We have come even with the front of the semi, which is hardly rolling. SUV has come to a complete stop, but there's barely any room between it and the semi now. Then suddenly we're past the cat of the truck. I wrench the wheel to the right, hard right, throwing us back into our own lane. We zoom past the stopped SUV, which gives me a well-deserved horn blaring. The bassy sound of the semi's horn also booms behind us. It doesn't matter, because we're okay. We didn't die. Need to breathe hits me and I realize that I've been holding it in. I sigh, adrenaline still coursing through me.
Oh my god! Amber!
Her voice cracks and she starts to laugh hysterically. I do too, laughing away the anxiety of the last half minute. It felt like much longer. And it's not entirely over yet.
Don't get too comfy.
Her hands shoot back to where she was hanging on.
Oh.
Just ahead, Mariah still has a lead, but it's shrinking quickly. Wonder if she saw how I caught up. Jamming the gas pedal down again, I start to narrow the distance even more. She takes the exit for Arches just a few seconds ahead of me. We blaze through the entry point, flashing our passes at rangers who barely have time to check them. Even in the darkness, there are lots of people on the sides of the road. Wonder if anyone else has had the same realization we did about Chip. Mariah's starting to gain ground again, so I mashed the accelerator farther down. But her motorhome is newer than mine, and it's hard for me to keep up. If I'm going to beat her there, I'll have to do it soon. Check to make sure that Marina's still holding on tight. She is. Just a few feet behind Mariah's RV, I illegally swing into the other lane yet again. This is even more risky because of the way the road curves all around the canyon. The oncoming car could round a bend and completely blindside us. Hope that doesn't happen. By pushing the RV to its absolute limits, I'm able to break even with Mariah. Looking over, I can see a wild flare in her eyes, hair disheveled. Her expression changes to one of shock when she notices us beside her. I relish in the look of disbelief as I nudge the wheel to the right. There's a god-awful scraping as the motorhome brushes against Mariah's. Her eyes, as well as Marina's, widen. Seconds after we pull apart, Mariah's vehicle lurches towards us, and again there's a sound that makes me want to rip my ears off. I fight to keep control of the motorhome and stay on the road. Awestruck bystanders watch as we pass by, but I hardly register them. Still neck and neck, we continue towards Balanced Rock. Through insane luck or divine intervention or something, the road ahead is clear. I won't try to shove them off the road again, because there are now steep drop-offs that could actually be fatal. But I do have to do something to gain an edge. Just arriving seconds before her isn't enough. A sign, visible for just a split second, informs us that there are 5 miles to Balanced Rock. What might have been an arrow for an exit has been scuffed to illegibility. Maybe that's our chance. Up ahead, barely illuminated by a flickering lamp, the road splits into 2 directions. A sign in the middle is smashed and folded in on itself, probably the result of someone's reckless driving. One of these paths leads to Balanced Rock, but I don't know which. Willing to bet Mariah doesn't either though. From Marina's window, I can see Mariah shoot me one final death glare before they rocket off down the exit. We stay on the other branch though, I'm back in the proper lane now. Just gotta hope it's the right branch. As I start to calm down yet again, I realize my legs are shaking. Marina cranes around to watch Mariah's vehicle, which is quickly disappearing into the murk. Once it's fully out of sight, she turns back to me, her face as wide as her knuckles.
You okay?
Guilt stabs me. I may have seriously traumatized her, with 2 incidents within minutes of each other. After taking a deep breath, she unclenches her fists.
Can we never, ever do that again? That was insane. Super insane. Like, oh my god. I thought I was gonna die. Wait. Did we die? Am I just imagining this now?
I don't think you could imagine stuff if you were dead, kid.
That's the kind of thing a dead person would say. Like in that one movie, where it was all about that guy who could talk to dead people, except...
Fine. I'm 90% sure we're not dead then.
And just like, I'm trapped in this thing with a maniac. Now, literally, like, Marina was like counting her last fucking will and testament in that moment.
Okay. 90%. That's not bad. And being a ghost might be kind of cool, too. You could spy on people without them ever knowing.
Come on, girl.
I'll keep that in mind if there's ever someone I want to haunt.
Our voices are shaky, even though our conversation isn't. Keep checking the rear view, expecting to see the headlights of Mariah's approaching vengeance. But so far we're in the clear. Each passing minute that we don't see the rock itself, though, makes me worry that we took the wrong turn. Right on the verge of turning around and tailing Mariah, another sign suddenly looms up ahead of us. We've reached Balanced Rock. I slow down as we approach the parking area. While not empty, there are far fewer people here than there were at Double Arch earlier today. A good number of them look like they might just be sightseers, since they're standing around talking or looking at the stars instead of searching. Parking is easy. There are a lot of open spaces. When I stand up, my legs wobble. I stumble, grabbing Marina's shoulder for support. She smiles at me but doesn't. No more jokes to crack. It's time to get serious. We grab our equipment and hurry out into the night air. Solid ground feels foreign after the rocketing. This must be what it feels like to return from a voyage at sea. Marina, the landlubber, doesn't seem to be having any trouble now that we're not barreling along the highway. The spring in her step has returned, and I worry that she is going to bang the metal detector against the ground as she half walks, half skips. Some of the other people watch us go, but no one follows or says anything. They probably assume we're just next in the line of failures. Line which must be pretty long given how much trash and misplaced earth there is. Pangs of guilt remind me yet again of the broken Brocket Canyon to Shelley, and I make my umpteenth resolution to be more careful. Just ahead, Marina's come to a stop. Head tilted back, I can tell she's admiring balanced rock. It's certainly an impressive view. Someday I'd like to take her back to all these places we've gone, without the pressure of the treasure hunt rushing. Just taking in the sights. I slow my steps a little so I can keep watching her from behind. Maybe sensing me, she spins around and waves.
Hurry up!
Yelling even though I'm close enough to hear her normal volume level. I pick up the pace once more.
So where was Chip?
Over there, to the right.
There's a large stone wall beside balanced rock itself with a short slope between.
It was right at the edge of that little hill.
So where that pile of rocks is now?
Yep, that's the spot.
You can't tell that there used to be anything there, but I've seen pictures in the atlases Gramps kept around, or in the history books he liked to read. Compared to balanced rock, Chip off the old block looked tiny, but it was actually a decent size. There's a pile of stones at the base that are probably Chip's remains. They're indistinguishable from the rest of the red rocks though. Some are as big as my head or even bigger. It's hard to tell if anyone else has picked through here, but since there aren't any shovel marks or holes, I'm guessing not.
Where do we start?
I think for a moment.
First, let's get the easy stuff out of the way. You go check that side with the metal detector, and I'll check this one.
We sweep over the ground between the hill where Chip once stood and the massive stone wall beside it. Nothing.
Okay, that's pretty much what I expected.
I lean my metal detector against the wall and go back to the pile of rocks.
Just check over the places that I uncover, okay?
Marina nods, holding her detector at the ready. She reminds me of a surgeon, about to perform an operation. I roll aside some of the rocks with my feet, but most are so big that I have to stoop down and use my hands. There are more of them than I thought, and I'm soon sweaty and sore.
Do you want any help?
Nah,
I'm panting.
just keep scanning.
She does so, dutifully retracing my steps. Still nothing. After a couple of minutes, I stand up and take a swig from a water bottle. Glad I remembered to bring them this time. Marina sets down her metal detector to do the same.
Do you think Tess and them are okay?
Why wouldn't they be?
Don't you think Mariah's gonna flip out when she realizes she took the wrong turn?
Probably. That's her fault, though.
Not like you would have let her go down this side of the road.
Hey, I did what I had to do.
Uh-huh. But you're never going to do that again, okay?
If we get the next treasure too, I won't have to.
When we get it, you meanie.
Right. When?
Only one more to go after this. One more frantic search and then drain my water bottle and crumble it up before shoving it into my pocket.
Break's over. Back to work.
I pop my back and resume moving rocks out of the way. I've been working from the outer edge of the rock pile inward, since they're more concentrated in the center. Like a shadow, Marina continues to stick to me, going where I go. Nearly 10 minutes of uninterrupted shuffling pass. By now I'm expecting Mariah to have caught up or to get here soon. But she never arrives. Maybe she just gave up. Although, knowing Mariah, that's just wishful thinking. I've just finished moving a torso-sized rock when it happened. The metal detector begins to chirp, bright and earnest. Marina and I exchange a look and I nod.
I'll get the shovel!
Leaning up against the wall by the second metal detector. Marina grabs it, starts back towards me, then doubles back to set her detector aside as well. Move to take the shovel from her, but she holds it away, shaking her head.
Nuh-uh. You moved all the rocks.
Yeah, but
She frowns at me and I can tell this is an argument I won't win.
Okay. Be careful, though. Don't throw out your shoulder.
I know what I'm doing.
She stabs at the ground like she's wielding a salad fork. Bounces off with a jolt.
You need to go at it with more of an angle, like you're trying to slide it into the ground.
Move behind her and adjust her arms a little. Her shoulders are damp with sweat, though I am drenched in it. She tenses up when I first touch her, but relaxes almost immediately. It's enough to make me self-conscious though, and I take a quick step back.
Sorry.
I'm mumbling.
Oh, no, you're fine. You just surprised me.
Her voice is higher than usual.
It's okay. You should have it now.
Hey people. Nodding, Marina jabs at the ground again. She scoops out a little bit of dirt and dumps it aside. Watching her dig is painful. Either the ground is hard or she's not strong enough to make fast progress. Whatever the reason, it's slow going, but she refuses my repeated offer to take over, so with my hands on my hips, I watch as the hole very slowly gets deeper. Thank you for the check-in, Shura! Welcome, welcome! She's reached a depth of maybe a foot or so when the shovel thumps against something that isn't dirt. Our eyes instantly meet. I stoop down and brush a little bit of dirt away from the shovel blade. Sure enough, I can feel rough wood just under my finger.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Now she forces the shovel towards me.
I don't want to mess it up.
Okay. Look out.
She steps back a couple of feet but leans forward to watch. Scrape at the dirt around the spot that we hit, trying to find where the edges are. Once I reveal one corner, I start to dig out thin slices of dirt next to it. Soon the outline of the whole box is visible. I hear Marina suck in a sharp breath. My heart is pounding with the same cautious excitement I felt as she. It hardly feels real, and yet, well, there's only a 10% chance that I'm dead, and it isn't. Lift the box out of the ground with the blade of the shovel, and Marina off. Makes a familiar rattling sound as she moves. But I hold up a dirty finger to my lips.
Not yet.
Looking back towards the parking lot, I can't tell if anyone has seen us dig and find the treasure.
Don't say anything until we get back to the car.
She's a quivering leaf of excitement, but she manages to keep her mouth mostly shut for now. Not before hissing out an excited, "Ember!" I just smile, hoping that I look calm. Marina cradles the box in the crook of her arm like an infant, doing her best to keep it hidden from onlookers as we head back to the motorhome. She carries the shovel in her free hand while I have both metal detectors. I didn't even notice the soreness in my arms. Though it's not the first time, the excitement of sitting down in front of the sealed box of gold feels fresh and new. This one feels heavier than the last one, and it rattles less. Like there's not as much empty space. Without being asked, Marina retrieves the screwdriver and hammer that I've been using to smash the locks. She sets them down in front of me, but I offer them to her.
Care to do the honors?
You sure?
But she takes them.
Yeah, why not?
Her face lights up with a look of happiness that's worth more to me than the gold. If I'd known it was that big a deal to her, I would have let her do this back at Shiprock. It takes her a couple tries, but she bashes the lock off without even damaging the rest of the box. She looks to me to open it, but I shake my head.
Nope, that's all you.
But she shakes her head too.
Work together to find it, so we'll open it together.
She places her hand over mine, guiding it to the lid.
Ready?
Yeah.
She maneuvers my hand to flip the box open. It's full of dull-colored nuggets, like a moldy fast food meal. I take one out, bouncing it in my palm and feeling the heavy softness that's almost familiar by now. Yippee! Then I pass it to Marina, who treats it with her usual reverence. She gently sets it back into the box and then smiles.
We're pretty good at this whole treasure hunting thing, huh?
I shut the box and nod.
Yeah, we're not bad.
There was lots of them in that one. Even when the box is closed, it radiates a heavy aura, one that's almost intimidating whenever I come near it. I place it in the drawer and seal it away, a sigh of relief following.
2 down, 1 to go.
Whoa, there's only one more piece left?
I think so. There's only some experts writing about historical relevance after the next entry.
Plopping down on the couch next to Marina, I take a sip of my coffee and flip to the final entry of the journal. Marina glosses over the page, a hazy look forming in her eyes as she soaks it in.
I can't believe it's almost over.
Yeah, it's weird that it hasn't even been that long.
The motorhome goes quiet, the buzz of the generator humming in the background.
Well, it's not over yet. We still gotta figure out where it is, and then there's still the search.
I think Marina's enthusiasm is becoming infectious. She simply nods, now just gazing into her lap.
Well, let's see what it says.
After several days of travel, I believe I have finally arrived at my first destination. It is well known I have an astute eye for location. After all, this is how I found my precious bounty, so it is no mistake that I easily found the perfect hiding place within this valley. I arrived on horseback at the blistering peak of noon. Looking for shelter from the coming night, I began noticing something different, something distinct. Crimson, all of it. Shades lighter than pink and darker than blood. Color stained it all. From giant unmovable stones to the tiniest grain of sand. It was as if the land had absorbed the sun's heat and reflected it outwards. Even at sunset, the cave I settled in emanated a bright red glow speckled out from its opening. That night, as I laid on the ground watching the flames of my fire shoot up to the cave's roof, I wondered if there were more places like this out in this unsettled land. During my travels on the trail, I was too preoccupied with preparations to observe the world around me. But now that I have achieved success, maybe I shall. It would be a shame if my superb observational skills went to waste. I was never certain about the other locations, and considering how many giant rocks, canyons, and arches are in this country, most of them were probably just a fluke. But this is unmistakable. The vivid and breathtaking imagery, the constant allusion to flames, and most importantly, the heat.
He hid it in the Valley of Fire.
Yeah, Valley of Fire! Fire! Marina snaps back to attention, my conviction pulling her back from Marina
Are
Land.
you sure?
Positive. There's no other place it could be.
In me!
Oh.
She might as well have shot down my momentum with an elephant gun.
Oh, that's all?
Sorry, they have a valley named after you. They have so many things named after me. I'm iconic. Yippee!
Yep.
Why only yep? Marina, what's wrong,
No.
girlie?
Ooh, what's that? A place always on fire?
What is happening? She narrows her eyes to an unimpressed squint. If they could shoot lasers, they would be right now.
Amber, how dumb do you think I am?
I didn't say you were...
Always on fire, really?
Marina, girlie, what's happening, girlie pop?
Now I feel dumb for saying it.
Probably should.
Marina, baby, what's happening? Ouch. If her enthusiasm is infectious, then so is my unrelenting realism. It's corrupting her innocence.
By the way, what's the Valley of Fire?
Why was she so pressed? What's happening, girly pop? Well, maybe not too infectious. Massaging my scalp, I shake my hair, hopefully creating enough new wrinkles in my brain that will help with explaining this.
Alright, so take a whole bunch of rock, sand, and dirt, okay?
Okay.
Now make most of it red.
My explanation is met with a vacant stare.
I swear, it's a lot cooler than I'm making it out to be. It's just kind of hard to explain without pictures.
Welcome to the second half? This is the second half? But it's almost the final treasure, what do you mean?
Don't worry, I believe. Sounds awesome. Where is it anyway?
A little ways into Nevada.
I'm sitting here going, okay, we must be near the end if we're about to, like, go towards the last treasure. And you're telling me there's a whole other half?
Nevada?
Her knees bounce, jolting the table.
Are we even old enough to gamble?
Oh, with that attitude.
There's more in Nevada than Vegas, dummy.
Still, isn't that pretty far?
That might work to our benefit. I'll need to check the map again, but I think we'll be passing by a place I want to check out.
Her voice brightens.
You actually want to go sightseeing?
Don't act so surprised. It's not like I was gonna make a straight shot for California before I picked you up. Besides, I think you might like it.
Oh. She does like virtually everything.
It's a place called Zion.
Ah! That's 3 for 3!
It's a national park here in Utah. I hear it's a hell of a lot greener than the places we've been through.
I'm pretty sure we had Yellowstone mentioned earlier, right? That's 3 for 3. Or am I imagining the Yellowstone? Am I just hallucinating Yellowstone mention? No. No, I'm pretty sure we heard it. That's 3 for 3. Yippee!
I know we're in a rush, so we won't stay very long.
It's going to bust from excitement, and I still can't resist messing with her. It's cute.
But I guess if you don't think we can afford the time...
I expect her to throw herself at me, hug me, squeeze me with all the energy and happiness she usually does it with. But she doesn't. Sitting perfectly still, Marina takes a single breath and gazes at me with a smile.
I've been surrounded by desert all my life. Seeing green for once would be nice. I'd love to go with you, Amber.
Whoa! Unsettlingly, hollowness expands in my chest as I realize I don't know how to deal with a serious Marina.
Oh. Alright then.
She doesn't answer, eyes now closed, arms folded in her lap, the empty cooperative smile more forced than ever.
Well, there's still a lot of hours left in the day. I'm not sure if we'll make it in time to check into the campground, but we'll be close enough that we can do it in the morning if we leave now.
Marina nods. We scooch out the booth and walk the 10 awkward steps to our seat. Wrapping ourselves in, I switch on the ignition, the RV snorting. I reach for the cassette player, then look to Marina, already lost in her thoughts as she stares out the window. I don't have the heart. No, I don't have the courage to snap her out of it this time. Sighing, I bring my hand back without pressing play and pull the motor. You're bad too. I think I'm really starting to like Marina hugs. Gay person. Wait. Yippee! Hours, and Marina getting low-key sad because she thinks once they find the final one, they separate at the end. Yeah, probably. Poor flickin' baby. Hours and several cups of coffees later, we've arrived at our destination. Or at least close enough to easily check in the morning, yet hidden enough to not get towed. Marina looks to the window, but her eyes drift back over to me, and mine to her. For months, drawn out second, our eyes are interlocked, petrified by the other's stare. Oh, it fucking started pouring. Damn, okay. Then, time continues. Our heads swing in the other direction so fast it takes my mind a few moments to catch up. The side of her cheek I can still see is flushed. Glancing in the rearview mirror, I find mine are too. I grip the steering wheel, and cautiously, without turning my head, look back to Marie. She notices. Our eyes connecting. Blush, rinse, repeat. The past 4 hours have been excruciating, especially while fighting the urge to throw on music. I wanted to give Marina the space she needed to say what she has to. Or give myself the space to blurt out what I need to say. It was just... Again, Marina looks, I jump, we blush. Never the right time. Deciding I've had enough, I hop out of my seat and stretch. Marina follows. Grab my mug from the holder and drag myself across the scratchy carpet to the... Small jolt shocks my fingers as I reach for the faucet. Mug slips from my hand and crashes onto the counter, splashing coffee everywhere.
Crap. Let me help.
Marina springs over and reaches for a kitchen rag, but I swat down her hand and grab it just as she does.
Don't worry.
Now we're forced to look directly at each other, but there's no blushing this time. I nod and pull away the rag as her fingers slide down the fabric.
I got this.
She stares down at the counter, the spilled coffee trickling onto the floor with a steady drip.
Oh.
Let her help! Without another word, she slouches back to the couch.
If you give me a sec, I can set up the bed.
The bed's metal frame slams down with a loud clank that vibrates underneath my feet, followed by the couch cushion swishing past me, landing on the other side of the motorhome.
For ya.
Damn it. Whatever, I'll deal with this in the morning. Toss the rag into the sink and head to my room, hesitating in front of the slider. Please don't let it end like this.
Amber.
There's a pause. Several times I hear small gasps like she's about to speak. They all just melt into sighs.
Good night.
Oh my god, just fucking kiss.
Night.
My god, insufferable. My hand balls into a fist, my fingernails clawing deep into my skin. I step into the room and shut the slider behind me, immediately throwing my face onto the pillow. Feel my heart pounding as I roll onto my back. Lying there, twisted up in my sheet, it just keeps beating and beating, never settling down. Managing to lift myself up on my elbows, I look at the picture next to the slider. The one with the vinyl sleeve. I still remember how his hand felt against my head, from the bony joints of his fingers to how their calluses massaged my scalp. For such a breezy old man, it's amazing to think just how strong and confident his love was. I let my head fall back against the bed and rest my forearm over my face.
Oh man. What am I gonna do, Gramps?
Sorry, I was getting a stretch in just then. Brisk wind curls around me as I step out onto a patch of dirt that can barely be called a parking lot spot, in a place that can barely be called a campground. Misty curtains have settled over the nearby hills and mountains, and small specks of leftover morning dew occasionally drip on me from above. Bending down, I drop my backpack and pull on the tongue of my new hiking boots. A little big, but they'll work. Considering these came from the stash of supplies we borrowed from Mariah in New Mexico, her feet must be freaking huge.
All set?
Marina's standing behind me, frowning at her own Velcro-strapped boots.
Just about. These boots are pretty big, though.
You think so? They feel a bit snug to me.
Sheesh, never mind about Mariah.
Hey, forget about the treasure. Let's just dress you up as Bigfoot and turn you in for a cash reward.
Girl, what the fuck? Joke is awful and I know it. Still, Marina plays along, sticking her tongue out in a half-playful manner before she forces a tired smile. The whole time she doesn't make eye contact. So much for lightening the mood. Last night's sudden tension is still present, even though we try to ignore it, pretend it isn't there. We both know. What was that? I don't know what the fuck she was cooking, but she needs to get out of the damn kitchen. What the fuck? We both can't look at each other directly, and our conversation feels awkward and stilted. But we pretend everything's normal as we try to put on our best performances and reenact our usual routine.
So, how long is the hike?
The brochure said about 90 minutes each way. Might take even longer in this weather.
Oh.
I can feel the gulf between us. It's like yet another canyon. Except I don't know how to cross this one.
The picture in the brochure was super pretty. Angel's Landing, right?
Oh my god, we know that one. Now it's her turn to try and lighten the mood. I hate how we're both too afraid to just address the issue. But I'm just as guilty as she is here. I sigh and play along as best I can.
Yeah, it's nice. It's supposed to be the most scenic view in Zion.
That's what Gramps told me anyway. This hike was one of his favorites, said the view is so lush that there's so many trees and plants that he discovered several new shades of green up there. One of the spots that he was most looking forward to visiting with me. I glanced back up at the mountain. The mist doesn't look like it will clear anytime soon. In fact, it seems to be swallowing up more of the landscape. It's got Marina's attention too. She stares up as if she's picking out specific details in the fog. While she's distracted, I let my gaze rove over her again, guiltily like I'm seeking glances. But I don't care. Admiring the sweep of her shoulders down to her collarbone and the rest of the curves of her body, I let myself examine her like I did when we first met. Like I've been consciously abstaining from. Looking her over like it doesn't matter if she catches me. It doesn't though. May as well be invisible to her right now while she studies the mountaintops. I want her to pay attention. She's wearing her usual boutique brand clothes. Their cute frilliness is just as perfect as ever for me. But they clash with the clunkiness of the ugly brown boot.
You sure you want to wear that? They might just get in the way.
She gasps, almost offended by the suggestion that she wear anything else.
But my skirt is so comfy. Aren't you supposed to wear comfy clothes on hikes? Besides, with a name like Angel's Landing, it has to be pretty relaxing.
Funny. She gives me a big honest smile, tipping her head to the hills. The first real smile I've seen from her all day.
So, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
I melt, letting her skewed reasoning fall to the wayside just this once. Warm fuzzies and a goofy grin take over my dour mood. For a moment.
Alright, but no whining if they end up being a problem.
Flinging the backpack over my shoulder, we head for the shelter. Logs and a stone fire pit adorn the side of each lot that we pass. Maybe when we get back, we'll go to the camp store and pick up some supplies to roast marshmallows. I think she'd like that. Marina's heavy breathing guides me as we slug our way uphill, the previous light mist having now morphed into a thick and dreary fog. I cling to the chained railing as I stumble my way up the trail of rocks, the only protection from the sheer drop-off beside us. All it would take is one slip for me to take a nosedive into the valley below. I wouldn't even see it coming. Turns out the fluffy, enticing name, Angel's Landing, doesn't come with the relaxing stroll Marina was hoping for. This feels more like a ghastly death march. My sweat-drenched legs feel like pudding under the anchor that is a measly 5-pound backpack. No one else in the shuttle even bothered to attempt the hike along. I attempt to form words between pained breaths, feeling like a rock is being smashed into my lungs with each step.
We should turn back! Can't see Jack! It's not safe up here!
What?
It sounds like she's doing about as well as me, echoing the same lung
But we're so close! There's no way we're not almost there!
We stop, collapsing against our knees as we try to catch our breath.
Not gonna mean a lot if we end up falling off a cliff.
I thought you were the one who wanted to do this so bad.
Every couple words are punctuated by her gasping for breath.
Yeah, but...
Amber, please, let's keep going.
Her voice is a whimper, fragile and meek. Bold.
Okay.
Marina has a way of making me shut up when she wants to, whether she knows it or not. Today it doesn't make a difference. I'm not going to be the one who makes things worse. She's wrong about one thing though. I wasn't the one who wanted to hike up here. Gramps was. It gets easier after our break. The trail begins to plateau, and the steepness evens out, fading behind us until the return trip.
I think we're already here. See? What did I tell you?
Marina darts ahead, disappearing into the fog so she can look at the mythical view that the brochure and I have preached to her and Gramps to. But if my suspicions are right, this weather and the view aren't going to be very compatible. Falling behind, I step out of the cloudy murk and into an area that offers only slightly more visibility. An 8-kilometer hike is insane. Marina stands still in the center of the cliff, her hand clutched to her heart. What should have been a bird's eye view of Zion is nothing but a sea of fog. The lush greenery and full valleys are invisible. Only a few overgrown bushes and some rocky points peek up out above the clouds. I was expecting it, but the sight itself really is numbing. The hollowness in my stomach, the one I've gotten so used to feeling, rears its head once again. intensified by Marina's silence. Any expression shrouded by her bangs as she tilts her head down.
Sorry.
Gently, she shakes her head.
Don't worry about it. It's not your fault. You tried to warn me.
Marina.
I don't know what to say. I'm disappointed too. There were a lot of places Gramps always talked about visiting. After we settle down and kick back for a few years, after I finish repairing the RV, after I get better. This place came up more than the others. Not just Zion, but the landing. Kept saying we were going to hike up here, have a picnic, maybe watch the sun come up. A slight smile comes to my face as I think about him trying to make that hike. I'd have liked to see the geezer try. While I'm not a big enough sap to try and make all of my and my Gramps' plans happen now, it would have been nice to see the view. With Gramps, Marina, and everything that's happened over the past month, this seemed fitting to make the trip. Angel's Land. I glanced back at Marina, the hand that was clutched to her chest now stretched outwards, grasping at the empty air. A slight breeze blows through, ruffling her hair. She looks beautiful. She looks angelic. I didn't go to church much as a kid, but she looks like someone I'd see on a stained glass window, right next to the rendition of Calvary or Skull Hill. It's frustrating to have come this far for nothing. But is it because of the fog? Because of Gramps? Because of Marina? My teeth grit, grinding against each under what feels like an unimaginable weight.
Come on, let's go.
I turn around and begin down the slope. There's nothing else worth seeing up here. Marina doesn't follow. No spirited footsteps trailing behind me. No speeding bullet blazing ahead.
Marina, we're going.
He comes out with more bite than I intended. But I don't care. I just want to get out of here now. Marina is hesitant to answer, but eventually manages to spit it out, sounding more like a question than an actual statement.
I don't want to.
What?
I don't want to leave. Not yet, anyway.
Annoyed, I turn back to her for an explanation, only to be greeted by a pleading look.
I'm used to it by now. I know I am. But do you think we could wait a little longer? Just to see if the fog clears?
I don't know what it is. I respond with a blank stare. Like she's not even talking to me.
Don't be stupid.
I start back down the hill, not bothering to wait for Marina this time.
It's past noon. If it hasn't cleared by now, then it's not going to anytime soon.
So much for not making things worse. Nudge the fire with a stick. Doesn't do any good though, as the logs just tumble on top of each other, smothering their already pitiful flame. For a moment, our lot is only lit by the few remaining embers in the pit. Sighing, I grab the bottle of lighter fluid and squirt it onto the ashes. Artificial flame roars into existence, then heaters to the size of a pathetic candle flicker. I plunge the stick back into the fire and scrape cinders from the glowing wood. Eventually a flame catches on a charred log and grows into the pits until the pit is blazing once again.
Aha! About damn time.
She did it! The joy is exclusive to me, however, as Marina stays silent, staring into the fire.
Want another s'more?
She bounces back to life.
Oh my god, yes, please!
That was me! That was me when I was in the US, and they were like, do you want to try s'mores again? And I was like, yes! She catches herself and switches back to broodiness.
I mean, sure, I guess.
I roll my eyes, but can't help smiling on the inside. No matter how hard she tries, she's still the same Marina she's always been. Grab a marshmallow and stick it to the end of a bent coat hanger before handing it. Without another word, she plops it into the fire. Meanwhile, my eyes are drawn to the neglected bag of hot dogs laying behind the chocolate and graham crackers, unopened and ignored. I bought them because I thought Marina would like the variety, but I should have known that she would only go after the marshmallow. She's been devouring them. She opened the bag when we left the store, and it was half empty by the time we got back to the campsite. He clung to the bag like a security blanket the whole way. It's a miracle there are even any left. Shrugging, I take one of the hot dogs out of the bag and impale it on my coat hanger, then put it in the fire next to Marie. Even when we're this close to each other, there's still an air of tension. The one that's pervaded since we left Arch. Neither of us have addressed it, but the inevitability of the treasure, the thick uneasiness that hangs over us. It's suppressed, but it's definitely. But it's gotten better since we left Angel. The snacks were a peace offering of sorts, I guess. Although I was pleasantly surprised that she sat so close to me, with 3 other logs around the fire pit. Fixed my gaze on the flames. The dog is slimy, oozing with condensation that drips and sizzles in the ashes.
Oh god, it's on fire! It's on fire! Fire!
Marina's coat hanger whooshes over me like a comment. The marshmallow now a smoldering ball of inferno.
Here, give it to me!
But it's on fire, Amber! Fire!
That's me, I'm fire!
I can see that. Just give it!
She panics, squirming as her precious marshmallow burns before her very
Alright,
eyes.
just don't hurt yourself, please.
Frantically, she passes me the wire, biting her nails as I try to blow it out. Soon the fire clears. The marshmallow, once white and fluffy, is now black and charred.
Aw, now it's ruined.
Incorrect. Incorrect. When the outside is very, very burny and the inside is very, very soft, peak fucking marshmallow. I don't care about your light and toasty fucking ones. I want that shit charred on the outside. That is the best way to eat them.
It's no big deal. You can still eat it.
Preparing the s'more, I break apart the chocolate and cracker, then squish the marshmallow between them.
Ew, gross. But it's all black and stuff.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it. Honestly, I think I might prefer it burned.
Fucking based. Amber's actually based for that one. I'm just saying.
That's so... ew.
She gives a nervous laugh.
Here, just try it.
Marina stares at the s'more and gulps.
Fine, but only because you asked.
Closing her eyes, she opens her mouth wide. Wide open. This time it's my turn to gulp. I shuffle back, subtly trying to avoid eye contact, and once again failing, I pop the s'more into her mouth and let out a restful sigh. Like bubblegum, she munches on it in the corner of her mouth, intently trying to dissect the flavor in her own cute way.
So...
There are jokes that could be made. I'm not gonna make them. Anyway. Her eyes grow wide in shock.
It's good.
No shit, Marina. I love you, darling. But, like, you gotta be real here. Burnt marshmallow, best fucking shit.
Right? Doesn't it give it a nice smoky flavor?
It's a little bitter at first, but the marshmallow gets really crunchy. So good.
I told you so. You just gotta give these things a shot.
I can't believe I had my first s'more and found a way to make it better in the same day. I feel like that would take most people like a bajillion years to figure out.
My god, it was her first s'more? She's like me for real. Where's Sir back?
But it only took me one night because I got you, Amber.
Gobsmacked, dumbfounded, they're both stupid fancy words, but I think they work when trying to figure out this thing sitting beside me.
Amber?
You're kidding me!
What?
Your first s'more?
Well, I've seen people eat them on TV and stuff before, but...
You have never ever had a s'more in your entire life.
Now that I think about it, I guess I haven't.
That confirms it.
Huh? Confirms what?
You're an alien. The government has just been keeping you hidden all this time. That's why I met you near Roswell. It's the only explanation.
Insane, actually.
I am not. If I were an alien, then why do I look human?
That's just a flesh suit. A disguise so you can blend in.
What is Amber yapping about? Amber, what are you yapping, girly? Where's our logic here, girl?
That's mean. You can't just buy these good looks at the costume store.
Search for...
What's your sector ID? Is this your first time away from your home planet?
Amber, stop. It's not my fault.
Her face puffs out and I have to resist the urge to poke and deflate it. If I don't quit, she may actually stop pouting.
I'm sorry, I'll
pouting.
stop.
Oh my god. I'm tempted to squeeze one more joke out, but decide against it as I try to hold back the snicker under my breath.
I think I like you better when you're serious.
Ooh. Crosses her arms, turning away, she closes both eyes to block me out. Then, with a grin, one eye open, we both burst out laughing. Since the hike, the fog has climbed down the hill, enveloping the campground. Even here, it's carved out a small pocket, the breezy chill surrounding us as we take in the warm glow of the fire. Feels nice.
But for real, I still can't believe this is your first time leaving home.
She settles down a bit, places her hand in her lap, teetering side to side as she looks to the sky, even though there's nothing to look at but mist.
Yeah, sometimes I have trouble believing it too. Since there's so many of us, I guess Mom and Dad could never afford to take us anywhere.
That's what I thought. For a family as big as she says, it's not like they could have just packed up and traveled like me and Gramps.
You said you have 9 brothers and sisters, right?
Yep, there's 9 of us, plus Mom and Dad, so 11 altogether.
Jesus.
It's way too many kids.
Right? Everyone says our house is pretty big, but it's always been so cramped that I've never been able to tell. I've never even had my own room. I've always had to share one with some of my sisters. My older brother shared too, until one of them went off to college.
Is that the same brother whose car got torn apart by Mariah?
She laughs guiltily.
Yeah, he always called it his love wagon.
Insane.
If that thing was a love wagon, then my motorhome is a love palace.
Insane?
Ooh, that's a good name for it.
Don't even start.
Anyway, he said he wanted to get a new one when he got to Salt Lake City, so I don't think he'll be too angry.
Hold on, that's in Utah too. Why didn't you tell me? The detour would have been a pain in the ass. But if you wanted to visit him, I wouldn't have minded the extra miles. Not if it was for you.
Marina does a double take, and I realize I've given too much away.
You'd have to pay for gas though.
Marina blinks, then smiles, crisis averted.
Nah, it's okay. I want to do this without my family's help. Besides, it's only a community college.
Your brother moved from New Mexico to Utah so he could attend a community college?
Uh-huh. He sends me a gift every month. Last month, it was a top hat. I put it right on top of the desk in my room.
She pauses for a moment.
Mine and my sister's room, I mean.
Your family sounds about as weird as you.
Really? Huh. Yeah, I guess we are.
She beams, wearing the title of weird like a badge of honor.
That's not a good thing. Actually, maybe it is.
I like it. Besides, Dad keeps us all in line. He's a defense lawyer, super straight-laced. You remind me of him, actually. He likes everything nice and orderly, which is bad for him because he's surrounded by us,
Oh, there is a joke that I can't make here. But, oh my god, don't say that Amber is like your father, please. She talks for a long time, chattering and laughing about her family, while never leaving her face. Most get lost in it. I almost want to. For the precious minutes that she speaks, I forget the tension that shadowed us since Arches, and I believe it was never there. No, Mari, she doesn't have dad issues. That's not the joke that I was gonna say. That's not what I was gonna say. For her, it's always poised on the brim, waiting to shine through. I could listen all night, but she trails off only a short time later.
I'm sorry. This must be boring, right?
Nah, I can tell you love him a lot. It was always just me and Gramps, so it's sorta interesting to see how other families work.
The lot falls silent, save for the crackling. I brace myself for what I know is coming.
Hey, Amber? What happened to your mom and dad?
I stare into the fire. It pops, casting up delicate embers that fall and vanish in the dirt. Oh my god, embers mentioned!
I'm sorry. That was too personal.
No, it's fine. They're both around, I think. Only met Dad once a long time ago. Me and Ma don't get along very well. Haven't spoken to her since I was 16. Last I heard, she was living in some trailer park in Ohio.
Is that why you lived with your grandpa?
Sorta. Ma always had her issues. So the court said Gramps could take care of me when I was a baby.
I feel.
Not that it did any good. The geezer had the bright idea to haul me around the Midwest and East Coast for half my life.
He took care of you all by himself? He must have been amazing.
Try again. He was an old hippie who was stuck in the 70s and spent most of his time listening to weird music.
Sounds just like you.
Yeah, that
Hey, watch
Marina.
it. If anything, he was more like you. I was always cleaning up his messes, even as a little girl, even near the
Shook down a growing lump in my throat.
even near the end.
Amber,
It was always just the two of us, though. Us or any random old friend he wanted to see. Even when he decided to settle down in Colorado, it was just us. People would come and go, but it was always us. And I was there for all of it. I was there for every single appointment. I was there at the hospital, and I was there at the funeral. Ma didn't even bother to come to that, but I was there. And he was always there too.
you really miss him, huh?
My voice lowers to a whisper, raspy and dry.
Yeah.
Something slumps against my shoulder. Glancing down, I discover Marina's head resting it.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Ah,
He looks up at me.
Want me to stop?
nah. Keep doing it.
Oh! Oh.
Okay.
We should turn in soon. We have a big day ahead of us.
Yeah, maybe.
We sit in silence for a little while. Maybe it's a long time. I can't tell. It's a nice silence, though. Comfortable one. Finally. The engine dies. I can still hear the power buzzing before it surges down, leaving us with the ambience of the settling motorhome.
We're
Thank you
here.
for the hydrate. You're there?
Not a lot of cars here, huh?
Oh, thank you for the stretch. Let me just get that in too. Oh, that felt good.
Guess the rest of the world just hasn't caught up yet.
That won't last for long. Any day now, people will figure out it's here, and an army of would-be treasure hunters will be swarming, rolling at the chance to find gold. The last of the gold. There's a fluttering in my chest, and I tighten my grip on the wheel. It's the end of our adventure.
I bet our names have spread across the land and struck fear into the hearts of our rivals, giving them no other choice but to call it quits.
Yeah. Or maybe someone already came through and found the treasure.
What? Don't say something scary like that!
Still wrapped around the wheel, my clammy hands start shaking. Marina takes notice, looking over with sympathetic eyes.
Hey,
Takes her hand and gently places it on top of mine, giving it a reassuring squeeze. Let both fall into my lap. Warm.
we're doing this together, okay?
The flutters tickle the inside of my chest until I can't help smiling.
Right. Let's do it.
Regretfully, I force out a nod and pull my hand out of Marina's. Feels wrong, like throwing away a precious gift. Reaching into the console, I retrieve the journal. What may be the last time. It's well loved, a bent spine, wrinkled pages, and folded corners on the flimsy paper cover. Looking back, it's been getting roughed up since the moment we got it. Ever since that weird station attendant let Marina have it for free way back at the Traveler's Store. Hard to believe this cheap thing was the roadmap to something so valuable. Taking a deep breath, I skim over the final entry. After several days of travel, I believe I have finally arrived at my first destination. Well known, I have an astute eye for locations after all. I found my precious bounty, so it is no mistake that I easily found the perfect hiding place within this valley. I arrived on horseback at the blistering peak of noon, looking for shelter from the coming night. I began noticing something different, something distinct. Crimson. Had this already. All of it, shades lighter than pink and darker than blood, the color stained it all. From giant unmovable stones to the tiniest grains of sand, it was as if the land had absorbed the sun's heat and reflected it outwards. Even at sunset, the cave I settled in emanated a bright red glow that speckled out from its opening. That night, as I laid on the ground watching the flames of my fire shoot up to the cave's roof, I wondered if there were more places like this out in this unsettling land. During my travels on the trail, I was too preoccupied in my preparations to observe the world around me. And now that I have achieved success, maybe I shall. It would be a shame if my superb observational skills went to waste.
Windstone Arch.
Probably the vaguest entry so far, but I can feel it. Has to be there. I slapped the journal shut and lay it to rest in the center console, right next to all the cassette tape. Marina and I look at each other, now sharing the same piercing determination.
All right, let's get this show on the road.
Because of the lack of crowds, getting around is a lot easier than usual, allowing us to take in the scenery for once instead of slogging through zombified hordes. Even though there's not many people around, it somehow feels fuller here. Everywhere we walk, we're surrounded by layered dunes and sandstones, towering over us, striped with faded reds and calico browns. Somehow, we do eventually manage to find the Windstone Arch. Like the arches back in Utah, it isn't big and majestic, not a giant upside-down horseshoe that lords over us as we look on in awe. Not even an arch, as much as it is a cave, really. Just a jagged, overgrown rock with a few crevices big enough for a person to enter. Still, despite the fact that it doesn't compare to the size or grandeur of everything else we've seen together so far, and despite that it hardly took us any time at all to find it, it's still imposing. The longer I stare at it, the bigger it gets, like it's judging us. It isn't calling into question our abilities or even if we can find it. Gauging us to see if we're ready. Are we? I look over to Marina, a small bulge formed in her throat before she swallows it back down. She? I return my gaze to the arch, asking the same questions over and over in my head. Am I? Finally, we look to each other. Marina readies the metal detector strapped to her back, gives me a nod which I return. Even if we aren't ready, even if this is the worst mistake of my life, this is something both of us have to do. Our steps in sync, we march over the rocks and desert shrubs before crouching into the cavern. Sunlight squeezes into the cave, dyeing the rock columns neon red. Marina begins scanning with the metal detector, listening intently for a beep. Narrow space forces us to huddle together as we heave our way through the arch, repeatedly brushing against each other. At first it's accidental, but I find myself craving it more. Get closer, to feel her, to watch as her hair absorbs the brilliant glow of the cave. I'm deprived of all of that though, as her metal detector vibrates in her hand, making a low rumble. Sadly, the IRL Windstone Arch no longer stands as it was broken into. Oh. Wait, did someone fuck it up? Or was it natural? Or did someone do something stupid? She takes off the headphones and points to the wall.
There.
I avert my gaze and move past her, taking a knee as I slip the bag off my shoulder and pull out a mandrel pickaxe. Careful not to hit her, I start chiseling away at the rock. Soon the crack in the wall grows and small pebbles and gravel start flying off. I reposition myself and block Marina from getting hit by any of it. A small portion of the wall crumbles away, and after a few more strikes, reveals a hollow space just big enough to squeeze your hand into. Gonna suck if some creepy thing's gone and made its home in there. Shuddering, I reach into the space and feel something square and wooden. With some budging, it comes free and easily slides out. A box. Its familiarity is expected, but it doesn't stop my heart from leaping any. Nor Marina's, who squeaks out a gasp.
Ready?
This time she barely nods, unsure of what to say, but like ripping off a bandage, I swing the lid open before she can give any real answer. Nuggets. A pile of them, filled from top to bottom, all misshapen and morphed. The sight isn't anything new, but this time it feels different. It's like for the first time, the reality has finally sunk in and everything up until now has been a haze. We both just stare at it. An entire universe of thoughts race through my mind, yet it all comes up blank.
What now?
It's directed more towards myself than Marina. It's the first thing I managed to spit out, and ultimately the most important. Marina doesn't answer at first, instead just tilting her head, trying to process the question. But finally, she gives a simple smile.
I saw a sign for a trail on the way over here. Why don't we go hiking?
Hiking? I freeze for a second, then laugh under my breath. The more I think about the simplicity behind her words, the more I laugh, till I border on sounding like a hysterical madman.
Hiking? For real?
I keep laughing, struggling to keep it together, even after I start having trouble breathing. Poor Marina isn't in on the joke though, and within a matter of seconds her face goes from confusion to concern, then pouting.
I don't know why you're laughing. I was being serious, you know?
Settling down, I wipe a fake tear from my eye, an occasional chuckle still managing to break through.
No, I know you were.
Then what's so funny?
Nothing, just...
I finally regain complete composure and smile at her.
Yeah, sure. Let's go hiking. That sounds nice. Can you please keep to the signs?
I will. Stop being such a worrywart.
Marina skips through the sand, gleefully oblivious that her trail is a badly marked patch of dirt over the plains of the Mojave.
That's what you said last time. If you're not careful, we're gonna get lost. Again.
Aw, you didn't like those old cabins we found?
It gets old after the second time, Mare.
It kills daylight too. The sun has faded to orange and it will soon sink out of view. There's no way we're getting back before. But hey, maybe that's not such a bad thing. We've already found the treasure, so spending some time with Marina is a nice reward.
So, about this fire wave thing. And yes, I know it's not an ocean of lava, smarty pants.
Get her. Damn, I must be running out of material.
I mean, it's so cool. Well, it's hot, I guess. But what is it?
What's the fire wave? It's a, windy thing that winds around rocks and stuff and looks like fire. At least, I think that's what it was.
Oh?
Devilish grin slinks onto Marina's face as she attaches herself to me like Velcro, nudging my shoulders.
You don't know what it is either, do you?
What? Do so.
My god, how could you accuse her? Her grin grows until I force myself to look away. I'm not gonna get the satisfaction.
I've seen pictures.
Oh, you've seen pictures? What sort of pictures?
You know, the picture-y kind.
The picture-y kind. I can just feel her reveling in this. For the first time, she's got me playing right into her hands.
Oh, shut up.
I feel a slap against my wrist, then a tug. Looking down, I see Marina's bright dimples shining through her round cheek.
Why don't we find out together?
I'm stunned. It's a position we've been in before, but it's supposed to be the other way around. I am always pulling her, that's my job. Now it's her smooth fingers locked around my wrist, her fingernails grazing above my skin. Realization doesn't even have time to sink in, before she propels herself forward with me.
Hey, wait! Hold on!
I kick up sand and grit as I'm practically dragged along by Marina, who meets my yelps with silence. Then she halts as quickly as she took off, leaving me to shoot forward and stumble to a stop.
You could have at least warned me before ya.
I go silent. Marina does too. The fire wave. Swelling ribbons of red wrap around the hillside and stretch out to the horizon. The settling sun casts light and shadow across the ground and sky, shading it all with intense golds, pinks, and purples. As the sky dims, a shred of stray light passes over the shade and shines directly on Marina. She stares on silent. I can feel every glint of emotion coming from her. Every breath taken away. Every raw feeling that builds up inside her only to be choked back down. All of it. Glance between her and the scene stretched out before us. The pockets of sky with their deep, vivid colors are beautiful. But the choice is easy. I fixate on Marina. Clear, sweet blue eyes, her cute round cheeks, her lips as they quiver ever so slightly. Laying a hand on her shoulder, I turn her towards me and softly touch her cheek. Her mouth lips open with a faint gasp, but all it takes is a gentle stroke of her face for that uncertainty to be wiped away. Marina holds my gaze, my eyes relax, and I can feel the warmth of her body against me. Then I lean in and press my lips to hers. Babies! Soft. I keep myself pressed against her, letting my lips move with a natural. She doesn't press back. Afraid, I pull away, but before I can step back, she pulls me closer and lets her lips mine. Let the pattern take control. Our mouths move inside each other, full of tender caution as we ease in. We repeat the process infinitely. Bathed in the light of sunset, the two of us exchange something. I eventually pull back, unsure of what to say, and scared of what I could. I turn back to find the last rays of sunlight slipping behind. Something brushes against my hand, tickling for a moment before intertwining between. Her grip is loose, but I wrap my fingers around so that I'm holding her firmly. We watch the last of the light drift into a peaceful together.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh god, why? What have I done? Her back is turned to me like mine is to hers. I claw my nails deeper into the scratchy couch fabric and stick my gaze on the floor. Please end me now. It was silent after we did that. Nice silence, a blissful release of silence. As we walked back, terror started to sink in. I think she felt it too. I listened to the buzz of the generator and stared at a patch of artificial light on the wall. Stupid little box is making fun of me.
So, what now?
Funny. That's the same thing I asked when we found the treasure, except she sounds even more hopeless as the night. Bringing my legs to my chest, I bundle my arms around them and put on.
We could always go hiking again.
She throws a mock slap at my shoulder, feigning a huffy voice.
You would like that, wouldn't you?
The heavy embarrassment in the air melts away into something a little more comfortable as we both manage to laugh. Oh, they! Oh. Oh. What? Wait, actually? Huh? Did they? Did they play Monopoly? Is that what happened? They play Monopoly? Were they playing a board game together? Is that what the Fade to Black was? Did they play a board game? No, they did not. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I thought they were okay. Not yet. Okay. Okay. That last word had me worried at that Fade to Black and then that. I was like, did something happen? Marina lets out a whiny cry and slides against the couch.
But seriously, what are we gonna do?
About what?
About everything.
This game has two voiced? Voiced? There are two voiced board game scenes? Huh? I thought there was one not voiced scene of them playing Monopoly together. You're telling me there is two scenes that are voiced of them playing Monopoly? That's insane. That's actually crazy.
Treasure, home, us.
My heart tightens like she's squeezing it.
Did you not?
No, I did. I do. I just don't know.
She turns to me, her eyes pleading, like she's looking for answers. There's no doubt I'm responsible for this. Feeling a fierce sense of responsibility, I showed up and marched this.
Amber?
Hold on.
I open the console, but don't bother digging around. I know exactly where. Two irreplaceable pieces of paper. Stopping in front of the couch, my voice darkened.
I'll be using my half of the treasure to pay for Gramps' hospital and funeral expenses. But before I do that, I still need to go to the music festival.
I offer her one of the tickets. Unsure, she gently tugs it from my hand and begins.
If you want to, you can go with me. Might give you a little extra time to think about things.
Oh, they're gonna go to the festival together. My voice softened.
About everything.
The festival? Me?
Up to you, babe.
Babe? Oh my god, that's crazy. Hello? Babe in this economy? What the heck? I flop back on the couch and hold the ticket over my eyes to block out the light.
Oh?
Oh crap. He peels the ticket off halfway and peeks through, revealing an amused grin.
So I'm Babe now, huh?
Yes? On her hands and knees, Marina crawls ever so closer while I scramble to turn and hide my face.
Shut up. It was an accident.
And now I'm back to where I started, mortified and embarrassed.
Amber?
Her voice is like a melody.
Shut up.
Amber.
I said shut up.
Oh, Amber.
What?
A tank engine plows into my back, followed by soft, gentle arms wrapping around my neck as she rests her head against mine.
Thank you.
Oh, baby. My shoulders relax, embracing her. In turn, I rest my head on hers too. Head sandwich.
Sure thing, kiddo.
Can we not call her kidder when you're getting romantic with her? That's a little insane. Let's not continue that. Let's not continue that line of dialogue. Like, I'm begging. I'm begging we drop the use of kidder 3 paragraphs ago. Please. The second she started feeling like the romantic feelings, we should have cut kiddo out of the dialogue. I'm begging. Actually begging. Please. That may or may not be a plot line. I need that to not be. Once we're quiet, the awkwardness sets in again, where I don't know if I should be saying something to fill the silence or if I should leave it be. Is she thinking the same thing? Is she also worried? I sneak glance after word glance down, but I can't see her face. Her hands wander around like she doesn't know what to do. She touches her face, then scratches her leg, picks at a fold in her shirt, pops her knuckles. But she is nervous.
Hey.
The top of her head bumps my chin as she flinches.
Hey.
You good?
Yeah.
You don't seem good.
No, I am. Sorry, I'm just...
Rather than hurry her along like I sometimes do, I wait for her to find the words.
just worried, I guess. I know you have, but I've never had a girlfriend before.
Oh, baby! I start to say something, but she hardly cuts me off.
I don't mean it like that. Well, I do, but I've also never had a boyfriend before. Not a real one, anyway.
You had a fake boyfriend, though?
Barely. Like, in middle school, there was this guy who asked if I'd be his girlfriend, and I said okay. But then the next day, he said his mom told him he wasn't allowed to have a girlfriend, so we broke up.
Oh, honey.
Sounds brutal.
Right? And then junior year of high school, I kind of dated this guy for like a month, but I didn't really like him. My friends just wanted me to.
Oh, honey.
That's screwed up.
I don't know, not really. They weren't trying to be mean or anything, and he wasn't a bad person. He was just... boring.
So true.
Like, for our first date, we went to dinner and a movie. But dinner was just fast food, and he spilled ketchup all over himself.
Rose got the case of good luck. She was feeling good luck, babe. Well before its time, damn.
And I don't even remember what movie we saw. He put his arm around the back of my chair, and I thought he was trying to put his arm around me, so I kind of got closer, but nope. He just kept it there. Like he was just stretching.
Insane. She giggles at the memory.
Honestly, I'd forgotten about all that until now. That's how not a real boyfriend he was. What about you?
I'm glad that right now things seem normal. Maybe if she's talking, she forgets about being worried.
Well, I've never had a boyfriend.
Marina punches me in the shoulder.
You know what I meant. I could have guessed that much.
Hey now, I'm just being clear. But yeah, I've had other girlfriends.
Isn't it bad manners to talk about this, especially early in a relationship? No, it's not bad manners. Being upfront with your dating history can be really good if the other person's comfortable with it. Like, being clear on what you've experienced in your life is pretty beneficial in a relationship because it lets you know where you both stand in terms of, like, your history. Like, if you're going into a relationship, you want to make sure all your cards are on the table. Like, you shouldn't be, like, feeling like you can't talk about people in your past because, like, your exes are still part of what made you where you are today. Even if, like, you have moved on and everything, they still have kind of, like, adjusted how you, like, you know, like, every person you meet influences you in some way. Like, your dating history is going to affect your dating future. So being open and talking about that's pretty good, honestly. But if the other person's not comfortable with it, then you don't have to. But, like, if you're both fine with it, talking about your dating history is fine. He asked, though.
They counted, though it wasn't really anything serious either. By the time I was old enough for a serious relationship, I was too busy with taking care of Gramps to focus on one. But at least no one's mom ever told them they had to break up with me.
Insane! Amber, sit down.
Listen, it was hard when I was 12.
Oh my god, she was 12.
For like a day or two.
I'll bet. Anyway, yeah, there was this girl I was with through a chunk of high school. We broke up in junior year, I think. She wanted to focus on school. She ended up getting a full ride to a nice college, so I guess she made the right call.
Marina doesn't miss a beat.
Nah, it was her loss.
Oh, girly pop. Calm down. I shift to free my arm that's pressed against Marina's side and instead wrap it around her. First, I can feel her tense up, but then she gradually relaxes. So most of her weight rests on me.
So, Amber?
Hmm?
Really, she chose Amber, you would not survive the Kansas. Exactly. She doesn't answer.
Mare?
Sorry, never mind.
Nope, come on. Use your words. He looks up and smiles at me and I smile back. Maybe it's better not to think too much right now or ask too many questions. Just the two of us being happy with each other. Not minding that we're both sweaty and kind of gross right now or that we haven't eaten in hours. Or so I think. It isn't long before she yawns and looks up at me apologetically.
Oops. It's okay. I'm kind of tired too.
I'm not. I'm too excited still. But I don't want her to feel bad about going to bed. Plus, we did a lot of hiking today. I unwind my arm from around her and switch which hand holds hers so that we can stand up. She's fidgety again, shifting her weight from foot to foot. Well, I guess it'll take some getting used to, for both of us. Let go of her hand, it falls limply back to her side, like she lost control of it. Looking me in the eyes, I can tell she's waiting for me to do or say something. Take a step towards her, closing the short distance between
Well,
us.
good night.
Kiss her, you coward. Yeah! And then I lean in and kiss her again. Briefly, enough that she doesn't even really have time to react before I pull away. She blinks twice, then rubs her lips and smiles.
Good night.
She walks backwards away from me, still smiling, and I'm grinning like an idiot too, of course. I'm tempted, so tempted, to invite her to sleep in my bed, just to be close to her still. But I don't. Since she's still so nervous and unsure, I don't want to make it harder for her. Lick my lips as I go to turn off the lights, still tasting the sweetness of her on them. I climb into bed, listening for the sounds of her breathing. I don't expect to get much sleep. Fucking gay people. God bless. The women are womening. I am gonna say, I have saved. I did say it would only be a small stream tonight. So... the small stream is small streaming for once in our life. Yippee! I'm sorry, it has to be small today. It was very overwhelmingly big. But, you know, we got through such a big thing. We got the girls kissing! Yippee! The women kissed! Yippee! Sorry about that. Not the... oh my god. Insane. Oh god. Oh god. Oh lordy. Anyway. Yippee! Let's have a look. So, thank you so much for joining today, guys. I'm very excited for the rest of the week. We are doing more Pokemon this weekend. Wait, am I doing more Pokemon? Yeah, I'm doing more Pokemon. If I'm not doing Pokemon, that's going to be very embarrassing. But we're doing Pokemon this weekend. I'm very excited about that. Yeah, Pokemon Coliseum! Saturday! Or Friday night for Americans. And I'm very excited. That's going to be Open VC and Team Gay again. So... hopefully we'll have some funny special guests that drop in and be silly again. I really love playing Coliseum, so I'm very excited to continue that. It'll be a nice, like, before the storm. Want to voice act terribly? Absolutely, you should. But yeah. Things will hopefully go back to normal very, very soon. I am sorry that things are a bit quiet and slow on my end. I promise. I promise. It'll be for good reason. Like, I promise it'll be worth it in the end, I swear. Before the storm mentioned. Yeah! In terms of announcements, just... I really cannot stress enough. Please be there on the 8th. Please be there on the 10th. I am working so hard for these events. I really hope that we can really celebrate these together, and I really hope that you guys enjoy everything that I've organized for you, because everything that you think is going to happen times 10. I've reached out to a lot of amazing people, and I have worked very, very hard. There are some things coming out that a lot of people don't know about, that I've had to keep a very tight lip about, and I'm very bad at secrets, so I've been working very hard on that. Yeah, it's like almost 7 days away. It's a week tomorrow. In a couple of hours, it'll be exactly a week. Yippee! You should do predictions, actually. That'll be funny. If you do predictions in a bingo, I'll share it. And we can all do predictions. Well, I can't do predictions because I know, and neither can Neki and Mori or Michael, because they know. Shura doesn't know everything. There's some things that Shura doesn't know about. Invite your friends, your family, the mother of the ex-boyfriend you had when you were 12 that said you can't date anyone. Exactly. Invite all of your friends. Annoy every friend that you have and be like, you need to be here. Especially for what's dropping on the 8th. It was a big challenge what's releasing on the 8th. And I will say, I am very nervous. I am very nervous for that one above all things. So I'm hoping that you guys really like that one, because it definitely pushed me very far out of my comfort zone in a lot of ways. And it was a very big challenge. I really hope you guys enjoy that one. And yeah, the weekend is going to be just as exciting. You're going to start seeing next week so much stuff like dropping in terms of it, such as schedules, guest announcements. There's so much, you guys. Like, trust me. I have been working on this for months now. It's going to be crazy, and if it's not crazy, I'm going to make it crazier. And then on the 11th, there is also another separate event that is not a Mari Day event, but is a massive multi-person collab. I think, if I remember correctly, there's 6 of us in total. I have had to coordinate a lot of things for that one. You guys can try predicting in Embers who's going to be part of the Sunday collab, because there's some familiar faces and some faces that might not be as familiar. But it's going to be huge. I will say it's going to be a very funny one. It's based off of a funny trend that happened recently. And yeah, I'm going to end stream for here. So as we say at the end of every stream, stay safe, make good choices. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Okay, good night. Bye!